Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Cantina Corner podcast. As always, thank you for being here today. Get comfortable. Grab yourself a beverage. I will say that right this time. Beverage.
Beverage.
And yes, thank you. Beverage. Beverage. Um,
Beverage.
and get ready to enjoy another episode with us here today. But before we get into that, as always, please make sure you check out all of our social media pages, show the support for the show, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all the videos that obviously you are watching here on YouTube right now. If you can like and subscribe to the YouTube page, that would greatly help us. Make sure you hit that bell notifications on there so that way you can be notified every single time one of these videos goes live so that you can stay in the loop and stay on top of the things that we discuss. But today we're going into our react review of the 4th episode of the Loki show on Disney Plus, and I'm really excited to get in this one. I know I always say it in every single episode, but there's a lot that I want to pick out of this that I think is just fucking good. But hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Hola.
Great.
All right, good, grand. As always, I'm going to say, like I always say, as always.
It's been a long week.
Well, no, I'm not going to fucking say that. But
not yet.
First initial reactions of the episode. Go.
Horrible.
Phenomenal.
I always know Cody says horrible, and then usually Nick comes up with something positive. But no, seriously, like if you gave it like a 1 out of 10 before we start breaking this down from start to finish, like where would you rank this one?
Probably like a 9.
Okay.
I was gonna say 10, and I was like, is that too high though? But now, no, I'd probably maybe 10. I thought it was fucking great.
It was a perfect episode, dude.
Oh, I guess 10 would be perfect. I mean, dude. I haven't thought of anything that I would change in it.
Nothing could be a 10.
I give it a 10.
That means the next 2 episodes can't be better than this one.
And that's why I agree with the 9.
Maybe I'm on a different scale.
We haven't seen that yet.
Maybe I'm on a different scale. Maybe my scale doesn't stop at 10.
I'm going 9.1. 9's a rookie. 9's a rookie score.
That's a rookie score.
I'm going 9.1.
I'll tell you what, I'll give them an 8.9. They got some shit to prove to me. How's that?
There you go. What you, Adam?
I mean,
they got to end it strong.
I honestly would say 9 because I was going to agree with you because we obviously have 2 more episodes to go. So I can't base this one on being the best in the series. I could say it's the best that we've seen so far.
Point, yeah, you
can.
Yeah,
to this point. Yeah, it is the best. But I don't know what they're going to show us in the next 2 episodes, which this episode really set up a lot of shit. You know, it was a very reveal heavy episode. What?
I know what's going to happen in the next 2 episodes.
Well, we'll get into that at the end. We'll talk about our theories of what we think is going to happen at the end. I want to get into the meat and potatoes of what we saw.
All right. I'll save it till the end.
Good. Thank you. Appreciate you. A lot. I don't even know where to begin with this. Like the minute I want to start talking about
start at the beginning.
Okay. Well, that's hard because I want to talk about shit later. I'm trying to practice what I preach here, but this episode had a lot of good like discussions between characters. The acting and the writing and the discussions that you got to see leading up to all the craziness in the end of this episode, I thought was phenomenal. It was just the most I've had fun watching people talk and no action within Marvel in a long time. Like usually like you get that and you're like, oh, this is interesting. And then more action happens. And then you're like, okay, talking point, we're cooling down. It could have been calm that entire thing with just what they were doing between the characters. And it was just so interesting, the character development that we got to see. That's what I want to talk about first. I mean, what do you guys think about that?
That was good. I mean, they got good chemistry.
Yeah. Yeah. It's still weird.
Car ran good.
Car ran real good. I don't know, do my hands. It's still weird that they made Loki like, attracted to himself like that, but then he was about to kiss himself.
But it makes perfect sense.
It does, yeah, as it was going on.
Makes perfect sense.
You think about everything they talked about him before when he was getting interrogated by Mobius, and it was just that whole like I'm a narcissist, like I always crave attention, all this stuff, and who's going to give that better to you than yourself when you're an egocentrical, self-centered prick, basically, is what he's been. So I thought that was funny, but it was also hilarious when Mobius was pointing that out, and he was just like, he's like, really? He's like, yourself? He's like, that's a whole other level of chaos. Like, it's just like, you're gonna, like, yeah, I love myself. It just so happens that my other version of myself is an attractive woman. Like, sue me. Would you ever do that?
They killed him.
Would either of you ever do that? If there was a very attractive female version of yourself, do you think that would be like something that would happen?
I don't know.
Be like,
is that called masturbation, dude? If you have sex with
That's
yourself?
what I thought he was going to talk about first. I was like, dude, I've already done that. I mean, come on. Who hasn't?
Well, it's like that old saying, you know, when they're like, and you look in the mirror and you're like, I'd fuck me, you know, because you think you look good. You're like, God damn, I look good.
I can look at myself naked. That's all it makes me think
Scooby-Doo.
But it was an interesting character dynamic within himself. And you could see, and it was interesting how that was what branched off, you know, what got them off that planet.
Yeah,
because,
created
you know,
a
they're on
Nexus.
yeah, and that's what I was curious as to how they were going to get off that planet. And I thought that was phenomenal the way that they did that, and the fact that him loving himself, male female version, is what created like that, like, oh shit, this is hella not supposed to happen, and which is why Mobius was like, have you ever seen a branch like that? Like, it was skyrocketing, because usually when you see the branches when they make one, it's like slow ticking. They got time to be in there. They're like, okay, we're getting close to redlining, and this one was just like, oh, this is all sorts of wrong. Like, just it was almost like incest. Incest.
Like Luke and Leia are about to kiss shit.
That's what I was telling Alyssa too. I was like, it's almost like a cousin fucker or something like that, you know?
But I thought that was a creative way, and I don't know if that's like from comics or whatever on how that happened, but I thought it was a creative way of them getting off that planet, because I didn't think that, I was like, how are they going to like make sense if they're just like, oh, we're looking at disasters, and oh, I just happen to think it might be this one when there's how many in the universe. I was like, how are they going to pull that off? So I thought that was great. And it was a cool moment to see them sitting there talking together. Like, they just accepted the fact that, like, we always end up like this. This is what always happens. We're always getting, you know, screwed over. Like, they just kind of accepted that it was over. And it was kind of poetic the way that they did that between themselves. Because it's almost like having a conversation with yourself. If you were sitting there and there wasn't like a clone of you, in a sense, you know, and you're sitting there and you're like talking to yourself, like, is this it? This is how it's going to end. But you actually have a counterpart to discuss it with. And it was just, It was a very interesting scene. But yeah, when they came back and Mobius was sitting there talking to him, it was interesting to think back to that first interaction they had in that room, and how it was just like them being kind of snarky to each other and this and that. But this one was like completely different, where you had Owen Wilson being like the kind of sarcastic asshole trying to get the information out, and then Loki's like trying to actually break the truth to him. And it was almost like their roles flipped, you know, like one's trying to be real and the other one's like I'm sick of this is over, this is getting crazy. And it was kind of cool to see those roles reversed.
Yeah.
Was there anything out of that scene that you guys liked, like particular, when they were sitting there discussing that shit and he was like breaking it to him, like look, you're a variant and blah blah blah?
I thought the whole scene was good. Yeah, they're just their dialogue between each other. When he said that, you could tell like Owen Wilson's character was, yeah, wheels started turning almost immediately. It was like, yeah, all that stuff that he's been like going back to the jet skis and everything like that, and you could just tell right then and there he had like, he started breaking that brainwashing that was going on.
Yeah, which is extremely, extremely interesting. He had such a great development from start to finish of episode 4 on like him unraveling and trying to come to the terms and not deny it anymore. You know, because that's why when we talked about the last episode, I said, do you think there's something deeper in his fascination with Loki? And I don't think it was like so much 100% something deeper, but it's almost like he was trying to find out what was going on with this specific variant to like almost indirectly answer his own questions about things that he questions in general.
Like his subconscious was driving it or something almost.
Yeah, because you got to think, if you're, and we don't know like how they've been brought in there or what, you know, they did to their minds to make them a TVA person when they used to be a variant. You know, like, does your subconscious, is it always trying to like fight back? Like, do they do certain things that like repress those memories, or was it just complete, you know, wiped away?
Well, no, they're not wiped away. They are suppressed because she's able to tap into them when she enchants them, because they're still there. She even says that I can't create memories. I'm using what's already there. So they're just suppressed. I mean, they answer that in the episode. And he was, I think the Loki had been opening his eyes to his subconscious and making his subconscious a little louder within himself, because you see him when he finds out C20's dead. That's before he really even talks to Loki after they recapture him. And he's already second guessing that, like, immediately. So it makes sense that what Loki was saying, like, piqued his interest even more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was very smart about figuring out like why is I forget her name, the one that was a judge and who's like the head of everything kind of.
Oh, you shouldn't.
Um,
It's gonna be very important.
oh,
I
I
did
know it
forget
is.
her name too. I know the guards of C-20 and that B-15, but I can't remember that.
Yeah,
that
I
lady's
don't
name.
know
BB-8
why.
did.
What?
BB-8.
BB-8?
That's all I could think of when they're like
FN whatever though. I can't remember.
FN 2187, dude.
Oh yeah.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, I don't
How about I
remember.
just say Finn?
There you go, Finn. I don't remember her name, but it was you could tell he was trying to figure out like why is she being so standoffish? Like why is she just like, look, it's over. Like stop asking about it. Like she was crazy. She couldn't talk, like this and that. And it's like if you're being that obvious, like he's gonna be like, the fuck's wrong with you? Like, why are you being so different about it?
And what a dirty bitch to do him like that too. She just sat there in that room and was like, our friendship is something that's like never happens. It's so rare, like what we have. And then she's just like, yeah, prune the motherfucker, and just fucking kills him like outright. I'm like, this dirty bitch, like all that shit she was just talking, and then just goes and does that. And I'm like, what the fuck?
True politician, dude.
Yeah, that's exactly what that was.
Yeah, and when that happened, I literally like I didn't realize I did it, but I jaw dropped, because I was like,
Yeah.
you're really gonna go there? And it was such a strong scene the way they did it, where he was just like complete, like he accepted it. He finally felt free. You could tell in his mind, and he's like,
Yep.
I just want to go where I belong, where I was, like all this stuff. Like he was just having an enlightened moment, and then they just boop, and you're like, oh.
Yep.
I was
bullshit.
pissed. I was so pissed. And to see
Same.
Loki like sit there and just have that emotion, like, what the fuck just happened? It was that was the strongest scene in the show for me,
Yeah.
like so far.
You could tell walking down the hallway too, something just snapped inside of him after that too.
I
He
thought he
like,
was
"Yeah,
gonna
I'm
go
done with this."
off.
That's what I was waiting for too.
Yeah, I thought he was like he had stolen something and he had something they didn't know, and he was about to like pop off and just start icing people in the hallway. Like I was like, what the fuck? And it was funny. I watched a couple of different people react to the episode today. And right when Owen Wilson got pruned, everyone that was watching it was like, what's happening? And one of the reactors goes, we never got our wow. Not even one. That's all he said. He's like, not one wow. Are you shitting
You never
me?
know. You never know.
Yeah, I mean,
that's true.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Which is the big thing that happened at the end. But it was a powerful scene. And then it was not weird, but interesting when they brought them both up to the elevator, to bring them up to the timekeepers. And the first thing that the female Loki says is, are you okay? Like, are you all right? And like you could sense like sincerity, like she was like meaning that. And I was like, she's never ever like shown any type of like I give a shit, other than like kind of like that partner relationship,
They had that moment right there.
Yeah.
That was it. It changed
I
everything.
know. And it was weird, and he just didn't respond. And it's like, if you only knew what just happened.
And then they went to go see the fucking Chuck E. Cheese rat. That's what it reminded me of when she popped the head off. I'm like, this is like fucking Chuck E. Cheese or something. Just a bunch of robotronics and shit.
Yeah, which can we talk about how I almost had to turn on closed captioning to understand what the fuck they were saying.
I almost did too. And then I was like, she already killed one of them. Fuck it.
When they talked, they were just like, I'm like, I was like, what? What are you saying? It was like, it's like five of you talking at once, all layered into one person. I was like, and I knew something was weird. I was like, I don't think these are legitimately the timekeepers, because they looked funky. Like I wasn't a fan of the way they looked. Like I was like, it kind of looks whatever. And then, just what they were saying. And right when he was like, well, you're one of the timekeeper's children too. We can talk. I was like, it's not them. And then of course she lops off the head and it's just animatronic. And I'm like, some Wizard of Oz shit going on right now. Like who's behind the curtain? Like, show me the curtain.
Isn't it funny that they're robots and there's a thing you have to walk through, and if you're a robot, it incinerates you? I thought that was pretty funny.
I didn't think about that, but yeah.
Oh, and that does remind me, the very beginning of the episode I thought was a strong thing too, because they show her as a child when she gets taken.
Child.
Mentioned
a check. Sorry, every time I hear the child, that's what I think of.
I know exactly where you're going with it.
Yep.
But it was kind of fucked up. Like, you know, she's just sitting there playing with, you know, her toys, and they just take her. And
I have a theory on this, by the way.
Go for it.
Her
What's the
Nexus
theory?
event. Okay.
Because that's what I was going to ask. Like, what do you think that was?
Got a pretty good track record on this show so far. So, I think her Nexus event was her changing her identity. Because she taught herself the Enchantress spell. I think she's going to become Enchantress for the Marvel Universe. Like, full blown. Like, yeah, that's going to be her origin story, is that she was a Loki who taught herself this power. You know, she tells Loki that in the other episode, that she taught herself how to do this. And she changed her name, everything, and she just decides right then and there she's not going to be the goddess of mischief. And that was her Nexus event, because she basically destroys what she's supposed to become and do by not being the goddess of mischief, but becoming Enchantress. That's my theory.
But it's weird, because that would mean they would have had to seen that happen, but that would have been caused by them coming to get her, though, wouldn't it have been? Because that's kind of like why she did that, essentially. You know what I mean?
Right, but if she already started doing it, she could be fucking up the timeline.
Right.
While she was still young.
And it's interesting that you're bringing up the theory, because if you remember back, I think it was in episode 2 when they're in that supermarket during the hurricane in the, you know, apocalyptic event, and he's like, you know, Loki, and she goes, ugh, don't call me that.
Yeah.
You know, almost like she's completely like separated from that. Like, I'm not Loki anymore. Which when you brought that up, that was the first thing I thought of.
And she pretty much is completely separated. I mean, she even admits in this episode she doesn't remember much of Asgard at all. Like,
no,
it's very faint memories, which, I mean, we learned she's been fucking running from the TVA for fucking ever.
Yeah.
Which I did find it interesting that she's aged this much. So I really wonder how long she's actually been in there. Because you know how they say, like, time is different. But
it could be because she's hiding in like outside of the TVA so much that she can age a little bit faster than obviously if she was running around inside there.
Which would make sense, because Renslayer didn't age really at all. She looked the same from when she brought her in.
That's her name? The judge's name?
I was going to try not to say it so you guys wouldn't know, but I fucked up.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting.
I should have said anything. I should have seen if Adam caught it.
She's going to be very important.
I can tell, because when she didn't get killed or pruned, because we don't know if pruning's killing yet because of what we'll get into here at the end, it was interesting that she was the one that took her, you know. And it's like, okay, well, if she was a, you know, like B-15 or whatever her fucking name is, if she was, you know, a TVA agent, a normal agent back then, it's like, what did she do to eventually become into the position that she's at? And why is she the one that speaks to the timekeepers? And then, you know, obviously you could see her almost like she knows that the shit's fucked up and she knows it's fake.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say too much, but yeah, she probably has known from the beginning that everything.
Yeah.
And they're doing. All right. So here's my real theory.
Do it.
She was taken for a reason to be used, but obviously she got away, and the people behind the curtain, so to speak, weren't able to use her to their advantage like they wanted to. My assumption is they wanted her ability to use the Enchantress spells, but we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm pretty sure we're setting up Kang the Conqueror. I'm pretty sure. I know I mentioned that a few episodes ago, but I think this episode pretty much confirmed it.
What is it?
Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah, I'm not.
He's a Fantastic Four villain. Well, he was originally a Fantastic Four villain, which is exciting because, you know, obviously Marvel now has the rights to Fantastic Four, but he's a big time like Avengers threat or villain, whatever you want to say. And he's a time traveler. He masters time travel. Actually, like one of his, I don't know if it's the original one or one of the first ones. I don't know for sure, so I don't want to say, but he actually, like, the Sphinx in Egypt is his time trap. Like, he takes it back in time to show, like, to rule the world and be like, look at look at my awesome, and that's like he ends up leaving that time period and leaving the Sphinx, and that's why the Sphinx is there. And nobody understands like how they had this ability to make this thing, but really it was Kang the Conqueror. So it's kind of a cool little twist they put in his storyline.
I like that.
But his storyline also has a lot to do with the Black Knight, which is part of the Eternals. Yeah. I always when I say the Black Knight, I always think of fucking Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Isn't that where the Black Knight's in the fucking woods? Isn't that Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
No, Black Knight's the movie with Martin Lawrence where he like gets knocked out and he goes back in time or whatever.
It's a medieval times.
They call him Skywalker.
No. He fights him. It's a Black Knight, dude. I swear to God.
Yeah, he fights him, but I don't remember what song they sing.
No. I'm talking about a totally different movie.
Like you're
and he hits him in the arm and his arm falls off.
Oh, that's
what fucking movie is it? Monty Python, that's what it is. What, same fucking thing. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Monty Python. Same fucking thing. Same fucking thing, dude.
Yeah, it's where he's like, he's got no arms or legs. He's like, I'll bite your legs off. Come back here. And he's just like hopping around and stuff.
That's what I was thinking of. Anyways, he's gonna be in the Eternals. That's the character that What's His Nuts from Game of Thrones is playing in that movie. The guy who played Jon Snow. I don't know what his name is. He's gonna be playing that character.
Okay.
So they're gonna be introducing that character, and he's like a big player in Kang's storyline or arcs, I guess you could say, because there's multiple. But Renslayer is like Kang's love interest. Like he's like fucking in love with her, and like is doing everything to impress her to try to get her to fall in love with him. If that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. God,
I've said too much.
Well, I ain't gonna look into it further because I just want.
I don't know everything. I mean, like I said, I know like plot points.
Yeah,
it's been so long since I used to take dumps and read comics. So
that's why a lot of the shit's like I don't even know because I just don't even know the universe that well.
Yeah.
I only know it a fraction outside of the actual like main media that they come out with, and not much other than that. It's like when you say Kang the Conqueror, I'm like, okay, like Conan the Barbarian, what?
Sure.
It's going to be interesting what they weave into here. I mean, because one thing that we've talked about since the show started was, the fact that we're getting into the multiverse of madness and like there's so many different things that are going to fucking happen just because of the show in general. But as far as the timekeepers go, who do you think is like, what do you think's up with the animatronic stuff? Like, do you have any ideas with that?
I think it was all just for show. I think that Renslayer knew that they were fake, but I think it was all for show for everybody else.
That's what like I'm sitting there thinking too, like cause she didn't act surprised or anything like that. She was just kind of like, and you knew that she knew everything was going on because when Mobius looked at the video, and then the way she was acting towards him, and then obviously her killing him. So I'm wondering too if maybe she's playing a part in it as like I don't know if maybe not the leader of whatever this operation and shit they got going on is, but definitely the strongman enforcer, like the main enforcer of what's going on.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah.
I'm wondering like how she's tied in with everything and who is actually behind all this shit.
Yeah, I think she's definitely the main antagonist of the show. But I think they're setting up for Kang to be like the new Thanos for Phase 4, basically. I think his story is going like through the movies. Like he's going to be the reason we have these movies and their plot points and all that jazzy shit. But I honestly think that she knows like pruning someone only sends them. I personally think it just sends them to a different timeline.
Yeah.
So, which is interesting because I want to know like when they do the time charges and they erase everything, like does that stuff just go to a different timeline or what happens with that? Does it actually reset time?
I almost feel like it's like kind of like a timeline trash bin. Like it all collects in one spot.
Yeah.
Because and we could talk about it now since we're getting to that point. when you watch the after credit scene and you see obviously Loki waking up and he's like, is this hell? And then, you know, that group of people are like, you know, no, it's not. And you need to come with us before you actually do die. And it's, you know, all those random Lokis, you know, they even got a fucking alligator with, you know,
Hell yeah, dude. Alligator Loki.
like that shit. I was like, what? But if you pause that scene, if you look in the back right corner, you can see a destroyed version of the Avengers building.
Right.
Because it's a very distinct
it's
shaped
New York.
building.
It's just New York in general because the fucking the sanctuary's there too. Doctor Strange sanctuary's in the background.
Yeah, so I think that it's literally, and with how destroyed it is, including because, you know, the Avengers changed time and did all that stuff to go back and fix things. It's like to places, people, buildings, everything just compiles here almost like it's like a dump, you know, like a wasteland for everything that needs to go away. But they still have TVA people there policing it to try to chase these people down somehow or whatever. Or I don't know what it would be, because that's why he was like, you need to come with us before you actually do die. So there is a threat there of some kind.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like it's like maybe a prison, or maybe I don't know.
Just seems like a lot of effort for like what reason?
Maybe it is Kang in the future, and like that's what the future holds after he, you know, has ultimate power. And you just get sent to him to either become like his fucking slave there, or he just I don't know.
Because if there's that many Lokis chilling there, I mean, there's got to be some type of force that's like able to keep them at bay, or at least afraid enough where they're like, you will die. Like, let's go. Like, there's something serious going on. And it's just interesting. I don't know where it's going to go from here. And then I guess I'll ask both of you. I mean, obviously Cody brought up the Kang theory and stuff like that, but like Nick, you said you wanted to say it, and I said wait to the end. What do you got?
Oh, I was just making a joke of what you said, dude.
Oh,
because you said something about nobody knows what's going to happen next, and that's why I was like, oh, I do, dude. I got leaked the information from the, you know, execs.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of leaked information, this totally has nothing to do with Loki, but did you see that guy who got fired from DC leaked part of the teaser trailer for the Flash movie?
No.
Yeah, he was a fired employee. So he leaked part of the teaser trailer for the Flash. Like fucking petty as hell, but fuck yeah.
Fuck him.
But he muted the video. Like he leaked the video, but he muted. This is where it's like weird, because he muted a part that's like a massive spoiler, I guess. Because he muted part of it so that you couldn't hear probably somebody's name be brought up or something. And then the audio's back on after like that little part's over. So I'm just curious to see why if you're gonna fucking do that and be that petty, why even fucking save anything? Fuck it.
To be petty and be a troll, you know, because you're like fuck everybody. Like I'm gonna piss people off by ruining things, but I'll hide the best bits, and then I'm gonna just hold a middle finger up to the company that just scorned me. So it's just middle fingers all around.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting.
You know, like fuck you, I'm out. I'm gonna have to look that up. That'd be kind of cool to see. And also some other cool information. This does actually tie into Loki and Disney. On Disney Plus, streaming on July 7th, they're going to have a short with a crossover with The Simpsons and Loki. That's going to be streaming on the 7th. So it says right here that, it's titled The Simpsons, The Good, the Bart, and the Loki. And it says, the Good, the Bart, and the Loki will find the god of mischief teaming up with TV's most mischievous miner, Bart Simpson, in the ultimate crossover event playing tribute to the Marvel Cinematic Universe of superheroes and villains, according to a release from Disney+. And Tom Hiddleston is voicing Loki in the short. So they've got a Simpsons version of Loki in there, but it's still going to be Tom Hiddleston's voice in some sort of crossover short movie. Could be interesting.
Cool.
I guess. I haven't watched The Simpsons in forever.
I haven't either. I don't care too much about it, but it'll just be interesting to see what they do as far as a crossover with that.
Yeah.
Because they show like on the poster, like, you know, all the different Simpsons characters, you know, one's got Captain America shirt on, you know, and they've got an old grandma with like a bun up of red hair, and she's got Callie sticks like she's Black Widow. And I mean, it looks interesting enough for like a watch if you've already got the service. I mean, fucking why not? But I guess this was building buzz after the Simpsons Star Wars team up that Disney Plus announced on Wednesday is the next short that they're going to bring. I guess afterwards, at some point, but they're going to be doing one for Star Wars too.
Yeah, look, it won't top Family Guy. So,
No, it never will.
oh, look at this couch.
Well, Robot Chickens was pretty good too.
Of course, Robot Chickens, but fucking Family Guy is just goated.
It was goated. I will say the one thing that I could take away from Robot Chicken Star Wars was when it showed Emperor Palpatine sitting there talking. He's like, who died? His girlfriend, the Princess Padamame, Panda Bear. I don't remember her name. What was it? He's like, they blew it up. What? He's like, I had 6 more payments on that thing. He's like, we barely even finished it. He's like, God damn it.
I just love when he's going up the escalator. He's like, Stormtrooper. They're like, Emperor. Stormtrooper. Go fuck yourself.
That couch was good though. He's trying to pull it. He's like, all right, now turn it left. No, my left. No, a little bit up.
Oh, it's wedged. Just take off. We'll get it when we land.
And it's just sticking out with the door open. Oh, it's so good. But yeah, that was the only tidbits that I had article wise. I was just looking up Loki stuff and that just popped up and I was like, okay, crossover with Disney and Simpsons. Sure, I'll watch it just because. But is there anything else you guys want to hit on for this episode?
I just can't wait for next week's episode.
Yeah, I mean, I am pretty pumped for next episode.
I know. It's weird that
I think there's only 2 more left. So
yeah, they're supposed to be.
It's kind of fucking end quick.
Yeah.
It is. It is nice though that this episode was, I think it was what, 48, 50 minutes?
Yeah, it was something close like that. Yeah.
It felt longer than that. I don't know if it's because I was so invested, but like watching it, I thought I was like, oh, we're probably getting towards the end. And then I looked at the time marker. I was like, I'm only halfway through. I was like, oh, thank God.
It did. And then like the last 10 minutes of it, when I realized how long it's been, I was like, I was just waiting for a cliffhanger at any moment.
Yeah. I thought it for sure when they got off the elevator. I was like, fuck, it's ending.
Yeah, yep. I was like, God damn it, this is it.
Yeah.
They're going to open it up and barely show them appearing, sitting in their thrones. And then, whoo.
Right. That's what I know. And once they started talking, I was like, oh, we're going to get some dialogue.
Yep.
Well, if you call that dialogue.
Yeah.
You got the Five Night at Freddy's fucking animatronics up there. All right. Well, let us know what you think of Loki so far, what you thought of episode 4 down in the comments below. We would love to hear it and get some feedback from you guys. We thank you for the support in the comments that we've been seeing on our previous video and the videos before. It's always nice to see people engaging with us in the show. You know, as seeing more of that is great for us. It shows support. So thank you for that. As I said in the beginning, make sure you check out all of our social media pages to help us out. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. And like I said, like and subscribe to the video and make sure you hit the bell notifications so that the next time we do a Loki episode, you will know first and you will not miss it and hear what we have to say. Other than that, you have a great evening, morning, afternoon, whatever it is, and we will see you next time.
Peace.